Manhattan's perfect sunset. It's an exciting time of the year for residents of the Big Apple who get to witness the unique urban phenomenon known as Manhattanhenge. The term, coined by astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, is a callback to Stonehenge, where the sun rises in perfect alignment with the stones during summer solstice. Manhattanhenge occurs around the dates framing the summer solstice and is contingent on the exact position of Earth on its orbital path around the sun. Manhattan's city grid is tilted 29 degrees east, with streets set at 90-degree angles. When the sun's path is at 29 degrees north of due west, it aligns with the streets on the grid. The setting sun can be seen simultaneously on all streets heading east and west. It's an unusual event that happens 4 times a year in May and July, twice with a half sun and twice with the entire disk visible. This year, Manhattanhenge went down around Memorial Day on May 29th and 30th, and will be seen again on July 12th and 13th. Experts say the sunset alignment isn't just limited to NYC. Gridded cities like Chicago or Toronto experience similar phenomena, just on different dates. Now that's something you don't see every day.
Girl born with heart outside her chest. This 8-year-old girl suffers from a rare congenital condition and is currently stateside seeking treatment. Versavia Borin, born in Russia, suffers from thoracoabdominal syndrome. The condition affects 5 in 1 million people. Her heart is covered by a thin layer of skin, and she's missing part of her chest bone, a diaphragm, and ab muscles. Borin has to be careful everywhere she goes, for obvious reasons. Her mom launched a crowdfunding campaign to raise money for her medical bills in 2015, which raised over 70 grand. Unfortunately, after traveling to Florida for an operation, doctors told the young girl her blood pressure was too high to operate. So while Borin works on getting her blood pressure down, she's still just busy being an overactive 8-year-old.
Is this alligator hitchhiking on a manatee? Well, here's something you don't see every day. An alligator riding a manatee. In this fascinating photo uploaded to Facebook on November 30th, a woman visiting Blue Springs State Park caught sight of a gator catching a lift on board the Manatee Express. One might imagine what sort of agreement the two may have come to prior to the piggyback ride. The herbivorous manatee might have struck a deal with the alligator for protection, a bodyguard, if you will, in the unpredictable waters. In return for acting as security detail, maybe the alligator has the benefit of reducing his energy expenditure, for his important shift, of course. In truth, manatees and alligators do cross paths from time to time. The curious manatees often follow the alligators around, while the alligators would actually prefer to steer clear of the 1,000-pound sea cows. In the now famous photograph, while it appears the gator was attempting to fast-track its way across the pond, a Fish and Wildlife Conservation spokesperson claims the reptile was merely swimming over top of the sea cow. Still, it's nice to know that if the two aren't suited to working together, at least they can coexist.
New study says it's possible to sweat blood. Are you one of those people that's always sweating? Have you ever sweat blood, though? A 21-year-old Italian woman was found to have been bleeding intermittently from her face and palms for 3 years. She was eventually diagnosed with blood sweating or hematohidrosis. This condition causes blood to seep out of unbroken skin like normal perspiration. It's most common on the face, ears, nose, and eyes, and is often associated with fear and emotional stress. The woman was treated with a beta blocker normally used to regulate blood pressure and heart rate. The medicine did not stop the bleeding, but she did experience a marked reduction in symptoms. Medical experts still don't know what causes the condition.
NASA releases stunning video of Mercury passing over the sun. On May 9th, NASA filmed footage of Mercury passing between Earth and the sun. The rare event, called a transit, only happens slightly more than once a decade. The transit isn't normally visible from Earth, as the 3 celestial bodies rarely align. Mercury was seen passing by the sun as a tiny black dot. The planet's entire journey across the sun, as visible from Earth, took about 7.5 hours, which, if you really think about it, isn't that long. You would have to watch Mercury pass the sun almost 9 times to match the time you would need to spend finishing the entire original Star Trek series, which takes about 67 hours to complete. Deep Space Nine takes about 16.5 times as long as the celestial event. That's a little over 126 hours. Meanwhile, Voyager takes a little over 123 hours to watch. Now, if you want to go into the animated series, which isn't quite the same, you could almost complete it in the time Mercury's transit is viewable from Earth. So in the grand scheme of things, Mercury's travel didn't take long at all, but you just won't be able to see it all the time. The event happens about 13 times a century, and the last time was in 2006, and scientists say the next one won't occur until 2019.
Bombogenesis explained. Live on the U.S. East Coast? You better wrap up warm because even more cold could be coming your way. Bombogenesis, or a cyclone bomb, happens after cold, dry air from the stratosphere makes its way into an area of low pressure. This can generate a powerful storm. Bombogenesis occurs when the pressure drops by more than 24 millibars in 24 hours. And meteorologists predict that a cold weather bomb could hit the U.S. on Wednesday or Thursday. Snow in the Sahara? Sounds like climate change. The head of Russia's environmental monitoring agency says increasingly frequent snowfalls on one of the hottest places on Earth stems from global warming. On January 7th, a blanket of snow fell on the Sahara Desert, near the northern Algerian town of Ain Sefra. The Sahara has been known to get as hot as 122 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, but while temperatures drop at night, it's unusual to see snow due to the dry air. In 1979, snow fell in the area for 30 minutes. It was 37 years before the next snowfall, but only a year passed between then and the most recent one, which saw 15 inches of snow cover. This, along with a cold spell in the U.S., an unusually warm Russian winter, and rainfall and flooding in Western Europe, it's evidence that global warming is on the rise. With the state of the climate as dismal as it is, and with no signs of improvement, guess there will be more extreme weather in our future. Yikes.